Hey, good morning, guys. Once again, it is I, the chairman, coming to you with another review of physical media. And this week, I didn't get much in. I didn't get any actual audio-visual physical media, although I do have Akio Kurosawa's Ran from Studio Canal coming in. That's being delivered since it's coming to the UK. It's probably going to get here next week. But what I also did get was Zavvy's had a 4 for $30 sale on graphic novels. So I got four. I got the Fantastic Four Mega Masterwork, sorry, Volume 10, and this is the one where Jack Kirby leaves the series, and John Romita takes over. So these are the issues that it compiles, and so by this time, Franklin Richards has been born. He's actually being put into the care of Agatha Harkness, and whom we all know from WandaVision. And so, in kind of a, I don't know, it seems like kind of a cruel thing to do nowadays, and I don't know that they would have done this if it happened today. But Reed and Sue figure that since their jobs as Fantastic Four are very dangerous, they don't want to put the child in danger, so they send him away to be cared for by Agatha. And then so he shows up every once in a while, and it's kind of like a way of basically having Franklin out of the picture, so that they can continue to do their Fantastic Four stuff. So yeah, it is what it is. I mean, this is already 1970. The Fantastic Four had been around for 8 years, I think 9 years even. So it's kind of like they want to keep things going, but understanding that there have been changes, like Reed and Sue are married, they have a kid. And so it's getting into that Vietnam War era. You kind of can't do things the way it was before. So it's interesting to see how things have evolved. And that Kirby left, it definitely kind of took the series down a notch. Obviously made it less interesting. I actually want to go back and read the ones before this, because obviously they had a lot of stuff with Doctor Doom and Galactus and all of the other guys that they fought before had debuted during that time. Obviously, Doctor Doom was much earlier, but he was like, I think in the tens, somewhere in the tens, he debuted, or actually maybe even before that. But anyway, so then I also got this one, Uncanny X-Men. This is actually hardbound. It's it's called Broken, and written by Brian Michael Bendis. And I'm just picking like some of these newer ones. I don't even have any idea like really when they were written. I just know they're, you know, within this century. So this one is about where Magic is a member of the X-Men, and they're fighting Dormammu, and then they're questioning whether Magic is even on their side. And you got a lot of things going on. Cyclops and Magneto finally have it out, etc., etc. It's drawn by Fraser Irving and Chris Bachalo. So, yeah, I haven't read any new X-Men ever. So this is older, not X-Men, but definitely in the mutant pantheon, New Mutants. And this was from their original classic run. Actually, hold on. Let me see. What is this? This is issues 41, New Mutants 41 to 47, Annual number 2, and X-Men Annual number 10, written by Chris Claremont, and you got Jackson Geist, Steve Purcell, Alan Davis, and Arthur Adams drawing. And I always liked Art Adams stuff. So, and this is part of the Civil War slate of paperbacks that they put out, and this is the Captain America and Iron Man one. And so you have in here, you have Cap 22 to 24, written by Ed Brubaker, art by Mike Perkins. And then you have Captain America Iron Man slash Captain America Casualties of War, written by Christos and Gage, drawn by Jeremy Hahn, inker Mark Morales. Then you have Iron Man 13 to 14, written by Daniel and Charles Knauf, penciled by Patrick Zurcher, inker Scott Hanna. Then you have The Winter Soldier, Winter Kills, which I guess was like a one-off. Also written, of course, by Ed Brubaker, drawn by Lee Weeks and Stefano Gaudiano. Then you have Civil War: The Confession, with Bendis writing. Alex Maliev drawing the cover, and I think that's it. And I started reading this one a little bit, and the only other thing I wanted to point out was, why can't we get female SHIELD agents dressed like that in the movies? You know, why can't we get that? Just saying. But anyway, so yeah, so what I want to spend the bulk of my review on was, I finished watching Blue Underground's 4K limited edition of Dead and Buried, and my opinion of this presentation didn't really change much. This is not a very good looking film at all. And you know, we've talked before about grain, and grain being an essential aspect of chemical film photography. Grain is the presentation, the expression of detail in chemical film. So the presence of grain in and of itself is not a good thing or a bad thing. It is simply how it is used to express the visual quality. Unfortunately, in this case, the grain is just way too heavy, and it's not just the grain itself. It is that it does not reveal detail, but rather it appears to be just concealing detail. Not only that, but the film itself appears to be shot through cheesecloth or fog or haze or something that is just smothering the quality and the detail. And I understand that photographically, the use of smoke effects or fog, especially in a horror film, is used to convey a sense of dread, suspense, impending terror. But I don't think it really helps in this film, because it just makes things way too unclear. And I'll understand the argument that yes, it does look better than anything that's been presented before. However, if what had been presented before wasn't that great looking to begin with, then this film, or at least this presentation of the film itself, is not an improvement. And therefore, I would definitely recommend anyone who is thinking about getting this film to definitely weigh their options. And in the case of going to look for reviews, I did a review published on the Digital Bits, written by Tim Salmon, in which Mr. Salmon gave this film an A+. And I really cannot agree with that at all. This film is not an A+. It's not even a B+. I'll charitably give it a C+, because I know that Blue Underground did put their usual good work into making this look as good as possible. Unfortunately, what they were working with, or what they started with, just simply wasn't good enough. I know that they were unable to acquire the original camera negative. It was destroyed, apparently, and therefore they had to use the interpositive. And understanding that the interpositive is one generation away from the original camera negative, you can accept some quality loss, but it can't explain such a degree of quality loss as what's on display here. And for Mr. Salmon to give this an A+ is, I don't know what standard of evaluation he's using to even think that this deserves an A+. I can see him giving it a B+ if he's being really nice. But when Blue Underground have put out excellent, like literally best in class presentations like The Final Countdown and Daughters of Darkness, and you give this an A+, then what are these two? I mean, these are A+ also. I mean, they can't all be A+. It doesn't make sense. They can't all be A+. These two, if you give them less than A+, and then you give this one A+, then I simply have to question what you're watching, or how you are determining the quality of what it is that you're watching, because they simply don't compare. These two are ones that I would put up any time in order to show someone what Blue Underground is capable of producing. And then to say that they're the same as Dead and Buried is simply, it's inexplicable. I'm really flabbergasted as to how you could say that they're the same. Because when it comes to Dead and Buried, I could take this 4K and I could put it on, and if I show someone who, and I don't tell them I'm putting on the 4K, and then I ask them to watch it and have them tell me, what am I watching? Am I watching a 4K? Am I watching a standard Blu-ray? Am I watching a DVD? I guarantee some people will say that this is a DVD. That's how not great it looks. Now maybe if you're a little bit more experienced, you might say, okay, it's a Blu-ray, but I'd be hard-pressed to imagine a lot of people would say this looks like a 4K. There's really very little about it that stands out as a 4K. I mean, almost nothing. I mean, does it look terrible? No, it doesn't look terrible, but it simply is not of the quality that one would expect from a film of its time with the work that has been put into it by Blue Underground. And so therefore, I don't even want them to, Mr. Salmon or Bill Hunt at Digital Abyss, even respond, because they're entitled to their opinion. They're entitled to put out the information that they wish to put out on their site. But they're putting out a review for the purpose of advising a potential customer as to whether they should buy this disc, because this is an insubstantial investment. This is not a cheap disc. This is like $40 depending on where you go. And if I'm going there and I've never watched this and I don't know anything about it, and I'm going there and I'm reading the review, I'm being given an impression that this is an excellent disc, that this is worthy of my money and my time. And then if I go and buy this based on their recommendation, and I watch it and I realize this thing looks like crap, I'm going to be a little upset, and I'm going to want to understand what it is that they saw in this film that warranted an A+ rating, because it simply is not A+. So that's basically what I thought of this film. I don't want to tell people to just not buy this at all if you really like the subject matter. And it's a fine little horror movie. I didn't think it was spectacular, but it's a nice little horror movie. Is it in the level of film that I think warranted a limited edition presentation? I don't think so. I think the other films that Blue Underground have put out were of a level of quality, not just audiovisually, but just of the film itself, that warranted their presentation. Now, obviously, Blue Underground are going to veer towards genre, cult films of that nature, and obviously they've expanded beyond that with something like The Final Countdown. But they're still going to veer towards that area of genre. So they're not going to get the greatest films, but they're going to make them look as good as possible. That's what I've come to expect from Blue Underground. And even in, like I said, even in the case of Dead and Buried, I'm sure they did the best job they could. But I simply question why they even chose to continue with this project of making it to 4K, because what they were working with simply, in my opinion, wasn't good enough, and they should not even have made it into a 4K. They would have better spent their time and effort and money on a film with a source that was much better. So those are two issues I have. One is, why did they even make this into a 4K, and why Mr. Salmon felt that this film was good enough to give it an A+ rating on the Digital Abyss. I mean, that's not even the biggest issue. I mean, like I said, everyone's entitled to their opinion. I'm sure other people have a less favorable review. I even watched Mid-Level Media's, and he didn't say it was great, but he didn't say it was terrible, but he didn't say it was as good as what the Digital Abyss review was. So I'm sure other people have said that, you know, this isn't as good looking. What I'm more interested in is just, why did Blue Underground think that this was a worthy choice to make into a 4K? So anyway, sorry to be a bit of a downer, but I wanted to express my views on this film and its presentation, and not try to throw people under the bus, or not try to, you know, attack anything. I just simply want to have a clear and concise understanding of what was going on with this film. So anyway, like I said, Hope you liked the video. A little bit of a downer, but anyway, uh, I'm just looking forward to something better coming in so I can have a little bit more of a positive review for you guys. So, talk to you later. Bye.